This is a neoprene mat. I don't know what neoprene is. Johan, you're smart in a lot of ways.
It's a neoprene.
What is neoprene?
Neoprene is a spongy rubber.
Spongy rubber.
I would call it that.
Okay. People like neoprene. It's got a nice feel to it. Our tables normally come with schmelt. It is super durable, it's actually kind of nice. I like the felt a lot.
Yep.
But some of these nerds want neoprene mats. Why do the nerds want neoprene mats in here? I don't know why. This one looks cool.
It's whimsical.
So that's like a foresty thing. And then this one's like, oh my God, you're in a dungeon.
Oh.
Which apparently all dungeons have cobblestone floors.
I don't know if it was a dungeon, for sure.
I think that's the beauty of it. It could be anything you want it to be.
There you go, see, she's got it.
Hi, Josh.
Hello.
Josh is a big nerd. You are a big nerd.
I am.
Do you like a neoprene mat in your modular game table? Are you that big of a nerd?
Yeah.
Why? Why aren't you happy with felt?
I mean, the felt's nice. It gives a nice neutral style color. It's very flat. Neoprenes give you art options. If you have an art style, a logo, something like that that you want to display prominently, you can put it directly into your table.
So is it for like role players?
You can use neoprene for role playing. I mean, this is kind of like indicative of what this is with the grid layout. If you were going to do like a water scenario or a grassland scenario, I would just have it be
just artwork with no lines.
Art of
no lines.
Just like
you don't know this because you're too socially well adjusted. There's this whole branch of gaming, and it's about miniatures, and you build like your armies, and you spend so many points for your armies. They don't move according to a grid. They move according to like these nerdy rulers that they custom make, and that's how they move their guys around, and then they pretend they're Space Marines.
So the downfall of this style of mat is, from a war game perspective, this is unusable, this is unusable,
wow.
All of this is unusable,
wow.
And that's an obstacle.
Wow.
That's an obstacle.
Wow.
You know, is that a line of sight issue?
Is that could be difficult terrain? That could.
All of a sudden, this is now very scenario specific. I've got a rock, I've got cover. You got a big fucking boulder over here. You've got better cover.
They are hardcore.
They are.
Something like this.
Now this one's more generic. This is just like, hey, it's just a texture.
But again,
guess what? It's cobblestone.
Mud. Like, is this the same movement? You have to make that decision.
So you literally just want like a bland procedural mapped texture, which just like goes on with no grids, with nothing.
Yeah.
That's boring.
You can have a grid, but it's almost like it's not necessary at that point.
So what you're saying is, hey Doug, we should offer neoprene mats, but we have to develop ones that are no grid lines, which are just a generic, boring ass texture.
Yep. Or you take really cool photos, space, satellites, asteroids, stuff like that, and you throw it on there. It just breaks things up. It gives it depth.
So wait, you think people are just gonna want like crazy artwork?
That's what people buy our rolling trays for. Think of all
Is that true? You think people just want like, oh look, there's a friggin' dragon flying around? Isn't that distracting?
I mean, there's two use cases. If we're talking in gaming, I think you keep the grid. I could go either way on that.
Yeah.
But it should be just flat terrain texture mapping for different scenarios. Your grasslands, your tundra,
Sand,
whatever.
or whatever.
But I think then the second thing was just art neoprene, and that's for people that they're playing cards and they just want a statement for their table.
That's cool.
Fantasy landscape.
I like that.
Art, awesome.
Yeah.
You like that?
Listen,
Yeah.
I like that because that is a
People are gonna put nudie girls. I'm just gonna throw it out there. They're gonna put nudie girls things.
All right.
We're not gonna offer it. You're disappointed. I've been to these gaming conventions. This is what the guys like. Anyway.
But my point was, Doug, there's two avenues, and I think we should have dabbled in both of them and not mix them in one thing.
Okay, neoprene art and flat texture mapping. Yep. That is what you're advocating.
That's what I'm
Let us know in the comments what you're looking for. They're double-sided.
Yep.
Are we gonna do double-sided?
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing double-sided. That's been decided.
Yeah.
And what do you have here, Johan?
It's basically the same. It's just a different manufacturer.
Okay.
Nicely edge seams.
Oh, that's cool.
This is so much, and this is the same art.
This has a more saturated color. I like this one better.
Well, this probably can be adjusted.
Oh.
The edge stitching.
Look at the edge stitching. Black edge stitching, or should we make these neoprene mats? These neoprene mats right now are sitting inside the table, and what's the gap? Show the gap here. The gap is very minor. It's a tight gap.
16-inch all around.
So the options are you just lay it in and it's got a 16th-inch border, or we could oversize it and you peel the felt out and you shove it in there. Initially, I was like, nope, I don't want them replacing the felt. Just drop it in, because that's easier. And I wanted it to be easy for people. But then someone brought up a good question, which is if this is just dropped in and doesn't replace the felt, if I bring the hobby vault up, will it interfere with the hobby vault?
You'll run into issues with being able to put toppers on. You'll have to remove the vault then.
So it's like, I think that's the question I have. It's like, do we want to make it so that you remove the felt and you tuck the neoprene, which might be tricky and a pain in the butt, but then the hobby vault people might be slightly happier? Or do we make it so it's undersized, just flops in, which is easy for everybody, but then the hobby vault people might have a small height discrepancy on their hobby vault. Josh is gonna do all this. Leave comments for Josh. He reads all the YouTube comments, every single one. He's there, he's in there, he's in the comments. So I'm gonna kick this over to Pennsylvania. Congratulations, congratulations. And they're nerdier down here. Well, at least these two are.
I'm a geek, not a nerd.
Kelly's more of a geek. You're the nerd. I think we're done talking about neoprene.
Okay.
Let's go talk about hobby vault. I want to look at the standard hobby vault, and I want to look at all the inserts. People had questions, and I want to talk about that improvement. And then I want to see if he's come up with anything for the hex table. Hobby vault. It's a vault for your hobbies. What a hobby vault is it's an accessory for the modular game table. You can put all your stuff on it, and it can open up with the slides open, and then you can have stuff inside. These are the inserts. These are 3D printed, made out of. The final versions will be made out of food grade silicone. So they'll be a little bit like wobbly. Ed and Josh, you guys just talk for a while about this
one
stuff.
looks like it's been through some shit.
Oh shit, they broke it. Bad JP.
Food grade silicone won't break like that.
No, it can't.
We also have some leftover salsa.
Hey!
Oh, that's lick it.
Now I'm gonna die. Is it actually poisonous once it cures?
No. Just like paint.
Once it cures, it's stable.
So you're saying that I made an inaccurate statement in a Wyrm Lyfe?
I mean, I'm pretty certain that there's...
Do they go this way? Can they fit this way?
They can.
They can.
They can if you'd like.
Okay.
They will fit that way with enough room to put a small one in there.
Hey, the
So,
little guy.
lots of configuration options.
There's like just a bajillion configurations.
Tetris.
So yeah, people just wanted to see how these sort of fit in here. So I don't know, Kelly, just talk about it a little bit more.
The measurement was to fit a specific number and configuration of the inserts.
And have finger room to get in between them. Like when it's
Yep.
completely full, like you can still spread these apart enough to get in and get to them. And
Yep.
you can fill the entire space up to a 1/4 inch.
When it's completely full of a variety of options, there's
It
just
should
a
be
little,
the same width-wise as it is
Yep.
this way.
Can I make a statement, please? There used to be a card slot here.
Yeah.
I killed the card slot. If you want to know who killed the card slot, I killed the card slot. There's no card slots on the hobby vault. A, I don't know if it was useful at all. I just don't think it was very useful. And B, it was like crumbs and bullshit could get in there. And outside of a gaming application, this is the sort of thing that non-gamers are really gonna love. And so why are we going to increase the cost that only gamers are gonna appreciate? And only some of the gamers, and only some of the time. So I was like, get rid of the card slot. I put my name on the line. That is the kind of high value, high stakes decision making that only a CEO can make. It's why I am leading this company, is because I can make those tough calls. And it made Ed happy, which is usually what I'm thinking about. Show us the new anti-tip mechanism.
We got this kind here, which we like a lot.
What is this? What? Oh! So it's a piece of plastic. I want to show the genius. So the old version, it used to go here and it would stick out and it would key here to here. The downside is it was sort of
No real downside there. The downside that we were fixing with this was that if people want to move it away, we'd be back to tipping. So we put these on the side so that it would work in both positions.
Got it. So now this goes along. Show how that installs and slides in. Ooh, look how beautiful his hands are. Wow.
Wow.
His beautiful hands.
The benefit being now it can be slid anywhere and still completely lock it in.
Right. I want to tip it. Can't tip it.
The downside is if you were looking for the original magnetic connection here, we no longer have that. So
Yeah, but who cares?
if this is
I was
harder
worried
to
that the
open-
whole thing would slide at the beginning. That's why I was trying to connect it to both metal rails, but it does seem heavy enough that it's...
I'm not worried. Nerds lack upper body strength. You're not going to be able to do it. from. That's canon.
I'm a geek, so he's not talking about
Exactly, I'm not talking about
He's
him.
talking about that guy.
I have upper body. People want a hobby vault on a hex table.
It's not 100% done, but if you
Look at it.
Let's go with that.
Douglas. Do you hate the name Douglas? Is that your name?
I identify as a Dougie.
A Dougie.
Yes, and I teach people how to do it all the time.
Good.
That's a reference.
Yeah, to the dance move?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This hexagonal table sucks. Yours will not look this bad, but we're using it for prototyping.
So we did do this one first. I was told to try to do a hobby vault and a master shelf.
Good, you do the master
So
shelf.
as soon as you start to get it in, you lose anywhere to hold it, kind of out here.
Putting it in and out of the table is a massive pain in the...
Plus, look how much of the vault it's taking up. Like
A
you're
lot.
using like a third of the vault right now.
Does anybody like this? Kelly, do you like this?
It takes up too much space.
Josh, do you like this? No. Do you like this?
No.
Thumbs down from the Qster. Oh yeah, that's bad.
But this is essentially done. The slides just aren't attached. So you're still using about the same amount of real estate. It'll go in and open up. This will be a little awkward, but
Come look over here. I want to get Ian. This is awesome. Like, this is awesome. This space is awkward. Although you can store stuff there, but none of our inserts will fit.
You can still store things like dice and...
I was gonna say, you can store a lot of dice in there.
Dudes.
My vote is we develop this, however, it will not be available on the Kickstarter. It will not be for sale on this Kickstarter, so I think we continue to develop it. Once it's developed, you'll be able to buy it, but it will not come with your table initially, because this is gonna take a little bit more work. But I like it. I think it's really good. Question, will the hex table be the most popular shape?
You're asking if it will outsell any single other size table.
Big
Yes,
yes.
yes, I agree. I think
You
it will.
think so?
Yeah, I'm hoping for 30%.
Really?
I'm hoping.
Those are big words.
Hoping people like it that much.
All Hexy, all the time. We're bringing Hexy back.
We're bringing Hexy back.
Yeah, you got it. Oh yeah.
I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. Get your sexy up. Go ahead, be gone with it. Get your sexy up. Go ahead, be gone with it. Get your sexy up. Go ahead, be gone with it. Get your sexy up.
Get some Johan footage. Yeah, what are you doing?
Communicating with vendors to make sure we get our stuff on time, or yell at them if it doesn't happen.
I don't think I'd like Johan yelling.
I've had my discussion like with DHL, because they come here like after 5 in the afternoon, there's nobody here.
Yeah.
And they don't leave it. They want signature. So at some point I had to call them. That happens 4 times. And I finally called them and said, hey guys, this is not working. Well, you can rearrange a pickup point. I said, where's the pickup point? It's in Harrisburg, which is 23 miles away. Seriously. And after that, the conversation became more interesting. I literally jumped on the guy's table through the phone. The next day I had a shipment. It arrived at 3 in the afternoon. The guy just came in the door. Done. Good. It works. You just have to put your foot down sometimes.